Hi everyone and welcome back. Okay, so today I've got a review and comparison video for you today on these two travel journals. They're both watercolour travel journals. The one on the left is the Moleskine and the one on the right is the new Seawhite travel journal. Now you probably remember several months ago I made a video about this Moleskine sketchbook. I was doing a project to paint all of the British butterflies and I had problems with the Moleskine sketchbook. It kept coming apart at the seams. I'll find one in a minute. Where is it? There it is there, look. You can see it was coming apart at the seams and I wasn't too happy with it, and neither was I too happy with the paper. And I asked for suggestions, you know, if anybody could recommend a really nice sort of A5 sized watercolour sketchbook. And I got loads of suggestions for Stillman and Burns, Travel Log I think it was called, and Pentalic, Hahnemühle. There were, you know, lots of suggestions, so thank you very much for all your comments on that video. I really appreciate all the info that you gave me there. But I actually went for this one, which is the Seawhite travel journal. I think it's only been on the market a few months. I haven't seen it before, and I was very curious to see what it was like because I've been using their sketchbooks, their cartridge paper sketchbooks, for several years now, and I'm very pleased with them. And I've always hoped that they brought out, you know, a watercolour travel journal, and they have, so I jumped at the chance to buy this one. And I can tell you now, I haven't regretted my decision at all. It's absolutely fantastic. And it is a true A5 as well. If we put the Moleskine on there, you can kind of see, look, that the Moleskine's a little bit short by about 3/4 of an inch or so. I prefer the true A5 size. It's just a nicer format to work on, I think. Now this looks very similar to a Moleskine. You know, we've got the elasticated strap on there, hardcover front and back, and we've got the expandable pocket in the back there. I've even kept the label there just to read to you what's on it. We've even got this little slick pocket as well, which will take sort of a credit card sized item in there, a little swatch card, credit card, train ticket, whatever. You know, it is a travel journal, so these little things, you know, they'll come in useful. So on the label it says 60 pages of 200 GSM paper, not finished, which is cold pressed obviously, watercolour paper. So 60 pages, we've got 30 sheets essentially in there. And it also says elasticated retaining band, expandable inner pocket, artist watercolour paper, 60 pages, acid free, very important, acid free, not finish. Seawhite UK. Oh yeah, we've also got the page divider there, the ribbon. I don't tend to use that, I just kind of tuck that in the pocket out of the way. But the main difference is, with this one, is the quality of the paper. The grain texture looks very similar to the Moleskine. In fact, let me see if I can actually get find a place where the pages will stay open reasonably well. There we go. And I'll do a comparison of the grain texture. I'll see if the camera will actually pick it up so that you can see. Probably as well, you're probably not going to notice as well, but the Seawhite is a little bit whiter as well. I'll try and get that to focus in. So the Moleskine's on the left and the Seawhite is on the right. We put that over the top so you can. It's very similar grain texture there. Now this paper performs absolutely fantastic. I've tried all sorts of techniques on it. In fact, I've just put up a couple of videos on Patreon actually, with a few little watercolour demonstrations I've done. I won't show you the whole sketchbook. I'll wait till I've filled it and do a sketchbook tour or something like that. But I've done a few little very simple sketches in here, just testing out the paper. Like for example, this one was completely flooded with water, and the wet into wet technique was used. I used masking fluid on there, even erased some of the paint with a dry brush to see if to damage the paper in any way. It's literally stood up to everything I've thrown at it, and it's performed really, really well, like a really good quality watercolour paper. I mean, okay, it's not Arches or Saunders or Fabriano or anything like that. It's a travel journal, and they tend not to put, super high quality paper in them anyway. So it's really difficult to find a good travel journal with watercolour paper that really does work and really does work well. And I've often wondered why people like Arches or Fabriano, Saunders, they don't actually make a travel journal with their artist quality papers in it. I think people would be snapping them up. I certainly would. I think there's a really big gap in the market for something like that. I know there's a few sort of handmade sketchbooks you can get like that, but I'm talking, general production style travel journals. It'd be nice, if they actually started making them. So going back to the paper, it stayed nice and flat for the most part, even with the real heavy water loads that I put on it. Very minimal cockling, far less than other sketchbooks. Without doubt the best paper I've ever used in one of these style of sketchbooks. In fact, I was so impressed with it. By the time I'd done just 1 or 2 paintings in here, in fact I've done 10 so far, but by the time I'd done 1 or 2, I got straight back online and I bought quite a few of them in various sizes as well. Because I don't want to find myself in the same situation that I did with the Moleskine. I bought one quite a few years ago. I was really pleased with it, and then when it was time for me to buy another one, the manufacturer had changed to another country, the quality had dropped, they just weren't the same sketchbook. So with hindsight, if I'd have known that when I bought my first Moleskine sketchbook, I would have bought half a dozen or so of them then, to have a good stash of them, of the quality ones. So I don't want the same thing to happen here, so I've bought a little stash of these just in case they get discontinued or they change the paper or anything like that. In fact, they come in not only A5, they also come in A4 as well. Not started on this one yet, it's completely unused, but that's all about to change. It's the same kind of thing, exactly the same travel journal style with the elasticated band. And the pocket in this one is slightly different. It's a top opener this time, whereas the other one was opening more on the side, just here. We've still got this little slip pocket and everything, and it's exactly the same paper as far as I can see. But I'm looking forward to making a start on that one. And I've also bought a few of these as well, the smaller A6 size travel journals. Nice little pocket size, to carry around with you. They're all the same, they're all the same paper, they've all got 60 sheets, exactly the same, just the size is different, that's all. So going back to the paper that we've got here, I'll insert a clip now in the video of a little bit of footage of me actually painting this, so you can actually see that I'm wetting the paper all over, really saturating it, and it's taking the paint really well. You can see that the paint is giving nice smooth edges, it's blending and it's running out really nicely. It's a very forgiving paper as well. It didn't cause any runbacks or any cauliflowers. The performance and the behaviour of it was fantastic. There was enough working time there with wet into wet, to apply not several layers because it's it's all wet into wet, but to go in there several times with different colours. You've got enough time to get the job done. It didn't dry super quick or anything like that, so you got a good working time there. The texture of the paper is nice. It works okay for dry brush, although they call this a knot surface or a cold press surface. It is a little bit on the smooth side, but I kind of like that because it lends itself really well to mixed media work, going over your watercolours with coloured pencils, or even doing some pen and ink or pencil and wash work on there. In fact, I've decided to actually use this sketchbook as my main sketchbook for all media because it's so versatile. I'm just going to use it for graphite work, for watercolour, pencil and wash. Anything I do, I'm going to use this paper now. It just seems to stand up to anything and perform really well for anything. So you can see there that the masking fluid is rubbing off really easily. It didn't tear the paper. Came off nice and cleanly. No problems at all with this paper. Really good quality. I'm sure you won't be disappointed, you know, if you try one of these out. Obviously I'll leave links in the description below as to where you can get them. I mean, sketchbooks are a personal thing, aren't they? I mean, Moleskine certainly have their fans, that's for sure. I mean, I was one of them. I still am to a certain point. I mean, I just hope they change the quality of the paper, you know, because that's really what's letting them down. But each to their own. I mean, you might really like the quality of Moleskine paper. It just doesn't work for me. Whereas this one, you know, the Seawhite travel journal, it just seems so versatile. Such a forgiving paper that it just seems like the only watercolour sketchbook you'd ever need, really. It's fantastic. So there we go, that's the Moleskine and the Seawhite compared and reviewed. If you want to see more on the Moleskine and have a quick look at some of the paintings that I've done in this, I'll leave a link in the description below to the review video that I've done on the Moleskine. But you'll most certainly be seeing me using this a lot more now. I'm already using it over on Patreon. I've done several demonstrations over there. So if you're interested in seeing more of the demonstration that I've just showed to you, that'll be over on my Patreon channel as well. It'd be great to see you over there. Okay, so thanks very much for watching. Take care everybody, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.